Hey there, and welcome. So you're thinking about getting a professional certification. That's a huge career move. But let's be honest, preparing for that exam can feel like a massive, daunting task. If you've ever felt that way, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to break down a really practical way to tackle that test and lock in your next big opportunity.
Sound familiar? That feeling of being totally lost or just overwhelmed? It's completely normal. You look at this mountain of stuff to study and you just don't even know where to begin. That gap between where you are right now and exam day can feel gigantic, but trust me, it's totally bridgeable.
So let's stop thinking about it as this impossible mountain, right? Let's call it what it is, this certification challenge. And like any good challenge, it has a clear path to victory. You just need the right map.
You know, the first step in any big climb is to understand the terrain ahead. Once you really get what the exam is all about, what topics are covered, what the format is, the style of the questions, that steep climb starts to look a whole lot more like a set of manageable steps.
Okay, so to make this super real, let's dissect the anatomy of an actual real-world exam.
We're going to use the Salesforce Certified Tableau CRM and Einstein Discovery Consultant exam as our guide. It's a perfect example of a really valuable certification that's all about testing your ability to take complex data and turn it into smart business strategy.
Now, this is really interesting. Look at how the knowledge is distributed. You can see right away that topics like data prep and visualization make up a big chunk of the exam, around 15 to 20% each. This tells you exactly where you should be focusing most of your study time. It's all about studying smarter, not just harder.
And here's the nitty-gritty. You've got 105 minutes, 60 questions, and you need to get a 67% to pass. Let's do the math. That's less than 2 minutes for every single question. All of a sudden, being efficient and managing your time becomes just as important as knowing the material.
So knowing the topics and the timing is one thing, but what about actually facing the questions themselves? Let's take a look at what you can really expect to see.
Okay, first up, a data preparation question. They're not just going to ask you to define a term. No way. They're going to give you a real-world scenario, something like, a company has messy sales data from 3 different places. What's the most efficient first step to clean and merge it? And then you've got to pick the best approach from a few options.
Next, let's talk data visualization. A typical question might lay out a business goal, like, say, tracking quarterly sales for the executive team, and then it'll ask you to choose the absolute best chart type to communicate that insight quickly and clearly. And finally, an Einstein discovery question. This is where we get into the cool predictive stuff. You might get a scenario about predicting which customers are likely to leave, and you'll have to identify the most critical factor from a list of model variables. It really tests your technical and your analytical thinking.
So you see the pattern here, right? The crucial point is that these exams are designed to see if you can actually do the job, not just remember facts from a textbook. Application is absolutely everything. Okay, so if application is the name of the game, how in the world do you practice for that? This is where your preparation strategy becomes critical. Let's walk through a clear path to success that uses the right strategy and, more importantly, the right tools.
Here's a really effective way to do it, broken down into 3 simple steps. Platforms like certificationexam.com, for example, offer a web simulator for practice, a mobile apps you can study literally anywhere, and then an exam mode to test yourself under the real-deal conditions.
And look, the goal here isn't just to grind through endless practice questions. It's about practicing smart. You want tools that give you immediate feedback so you can understand the why behind your mistakes. Simulators that actually feel like the real exam, build your confidence. And having mobile access means you can turn any 5-minute break into a legit study session. Every single one of these features, they're all designed for one single purpose, so that you can walk into that testing center feeling prepared, calm, and absolutely confident that you are going to pass.
So, if you're ready to stop feeling overwhelmed and start taking control of your certification journey, this is your next move. Head over to certificationexam.com and see for yourself how these tools can work for you.
So I'll just leave you with this question. With the right tools and the right plan, how quickly could you really unlock that next stage of your career? Because with the right preparation, that certification isn't just a piece of paper, it's the key.